Okay, let's try this again, y'all. I had to get off because, as I mentioned before, I'm selling fruit trees, fruit and nut trees. And just as I started the live, a customer drove up, so I had to say, "Oh crap!" But anyway, we of all the research that I've been doing, digging every stone, asking the questions, questioning everything, the only explanation that I could come up with, guys, is we are living in a freaking matrix. Who's that guy that Dawkins, the guy that was in the wheelchair, considered the most intelligent man, the highest IQ in the world, or whatever. But he was had some type of disorder to where he had to was in a wheelchair, couldn't use his limbs, and but his mind was sharp as a tack. He said without a doubt that we're living in some type of dimensional matrix, and everything that we are experiencing in this matrix, we're actually somewhere else, if that makes sense. That don't make any sense to me, but then it does at the same time. All of this time that we've been here, there has been a concerted effort to keep us blinded, misled, misinformed about who and what we are and where we are. I know that somebody's going to watch this and say, this woman has definitely lost her mind for sure now. But all of this stuff, like in the Bible, all these different religions and whatever, has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with serving God, but it's just a mechanism to keep us at a certain frequency, at a certain frequency to where we are just almost like a deer in headlights, that we're so afraid and just we're just kind of at a standstill. We're not really doing anything because we're just frozen in fear. Nothing at all to do with religion. And reading the book, Gods of the Bible, that really solidified. It just kind of like opened a whole new rabbit hole, put it that way. I want to make sure that my earplug was in here because the speaker is kind of wonky here. And I'm still kind of mulling it around in my head, trying to make sense of this when there's really no way you could make sense of this unless you really go deep, deep, deep in the rabbit hole. You know, where all these movies about the Matrix and Inception and all these different movies basically telling us what's going on, but it's science fiction. It's just for entertainment. They're telling us what's going on. And if you actually believe what's really going on, then you're considered crazy and conspiracy theorist or anything to knock you down, to keep you in that confused state. And the whole thing about Jesus, Yeshua, as the Son of God, the whole religious part of that, I think this is just a crock of crap at this point. But I do believe that this entity being Yeshua, Jesus, whatever you want to call him, was just someone who has opened that door to, or was a glitch in the matrix, put it that way. And I think part of what's happening, not part of, I think what's happening now is the time has come for us to awaken if we're going to awaken. Let the hearer hear and the seer see. Keep thine eyes simple. Knock and the door will open. What door is that? But it still doesn't explain to me why. Why are we going through this matrix? Why was this matrix made? And I started thinking about that too. Okay. Remember when Yeshua or Jesus said, "My kingdom is no part of this world. My Father's from above, your Father's from below." I think Yeshua's appearance in this matrix, in this simulation that we're in, and that's what it is to me. It's like I mentioned this before. It's like we're in a Sims game or that Sims program, and I think that's part of the awakening is understanding that we are in a matrix. I think that's a big part of it to be able to recognize we're in a freaking matrix. So we're in this game and we're aware that we're in this game. So until we figure out how to exit the matrix, and I'm sure that there's a way to exit the matrix, I hadn't figured that out yet. But I think the biggest part is, again, understanding that we are in some type of simulation. So now we got to play the game inside the game, knowing that it's a game. And if you think about it, as I was washing dishes last night, I said to myself, how many times have I washed these damn dishes? Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Wash my serving spoons and I put it on the same nail on the wall. And I'm beginning to recognize that. I said, this is a program. So did the grand creator, the source energy, did source energy create this matrix or this particular system? Or was it a different system that Yeshua spoke of, my kingdom or my kingdom is no part of this world? So if that's the case, who created this system? And that's where the gods of the Bible kind of popped up in my head again. What if the dark shadows, because there's light and then there's shadow. So what if the shadow beings or the good and the bad within all of us, because we all have positive thoughts. We have thoughts of light and good and love, but all of us all have that dark side to us too that we constantly battle with. So, what if the dark side of us, and I'm just talking off the side of my neck right now, trying to figure this thing out of why this simulation exists, who created the simulation, and what is the purpose of the simulation? Is it solely for us to recognize that we're in a simulation and be able to ascend out of it? Is it part of our growth as a spirit soul? And if that's the case, again, I think that's kind of sick that that the creator of the cosmos would do this unless, and I think I've mentioned this before too, the the grand creator, source, the one that we are all facets of. Every single one of us is a facet of source. And if that's the case, if that's truly the case, then we are all one. We are all part of this source. So, what if source is just, of course, source is alone, always have been, always will be this source energy. What if source just decided, I want to experience everything? Vibrant, wonderful health, the perfect body, perfect life, perfect children, everything is just fabulous. Or what it feels like to be born sick, in pain, to experience all of that, to experience rape, to experience molestation, to experience being hurt, to experience being betrayed, to experience being disrespected, but also to experience unconditional love. Experience what it's like to be a tree, a blade of grass, a rock, a crystal, the air, the fire, the rain, the snow, the hell, the sleet. Every single thing that exists is energy. I don't have all the answers by any means. This particular video is just acknowledging the fact that everything that is happening to us right now is really not. What if we're in the next dimension, or the the next realm, or whatever? What if we are actually in some type of pod with this thing in the back of our head, like they show in the Matrix, and it's just that this is just a program, and part of this experience is whether we chose to do this on our own accord, to have this experience here, there's so much, so many different possibilities of what it could be. Hey Jim, I'm doing a live video right now. You want to say hi? No. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out here and see if I can find that listing for the horse manure and stuff.
Because it looks like we're gonna be potting some trees.
I might just go get some this afternoon if I can catch up with
Yep. I think we're gonna be potting some trees.
them. Mm-hmm.
But I still want to take some this to the farmers market this weekend and see if we can move some that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll get some cow poop. No, horse poop. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'm working. Yeah, the tree sales have been really, really slow, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with all these trees. And I know that we have probably 500 trees, I think, 500 trees left to sell. If I could ship y'all some, but it would cost too much to ship them, so that's out of the question. But anyway, and see, that's part of the matrix too, y'all. Because last year around this time, if they got to change up, they got to change up the program a little bit, or you'll peep the game, I think. But last year around this time, we had already sold a mega load of trees. Like the first month that we were open last March, we had already sold $10,000 worth of trees in one month. And now we're not even near that amount. And here we are already in April, and we still got a lot of trees left to go. But anyway, back to the matrix. I just wanted to share that, and I've kind of touched on that before, guys, about us being in a matrix. But I am firmly convinced it has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with God, nothing to do with worshiping and all that. All of that is just smoke and dust and glitter and stuff to keep us confused and da 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 da, da whatever. Wake up. Understand that we are in some type of dimensional matrix, and everything that is happening to us, for whatever reason it is, whether we chose to do this ourselves to experience this, or some type of school or some type of weird club med thing or whatever, this is a matrix. Now, what we need to do is find the codes to exit the matrix. Find the codes to exit the matrix. But until we find the codes to exit the matrix, play the game. Play the game. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to stay on much longer. I'm see if anybody's in here. It's kind of hard for me to see. Hang on a second. Who's here? I don't need to share that. It's asking me to share my money. My share, it has a dollar sign, share your reference link. I don't have a reference link. How do I get rid of this thing? I don't know. Anyway, I see that you're here, Luana. Good to see you, darling. Good to see you. Anybody here want to pop in and share your thoughts about the possibility of us being in a matrix? Does that resonate with you at all, or you think it's a bunch of crap? What do you think? Let me just press that button. Okay, I don't know how to make this thing go away, y'all. Looking up, let me check. Okay. They must have changed the program because I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Anyway, let me just get off of here because it doesn't seem like anybody want to talk, and that's okay. Y'all gonna wake up to and find out and understand that we are in some type of matrix. So don't let whatever's happening to you or what you're experiencing actually good. If it's good, yay, you're doing well in the matrix. But if you're not doing so well in the matrix, take heart just with the understanding that you are in a matrix and trying to figure out what's going on in this matrix. But you know what? I was just talking to my niece just a few minutes ago, and she has gone undergone so many medical problems. More, what she has been through has been unreal, unreal. I don't know where I was going with that, other than I wish I could share with her because if I tried to share this information with her, she said, "Nana, you have lost your mind." She would definitely tell me, "Nana, you've lost your mind." But for me, for me, I don't take it as bad as I did before, feeling so bad for her, and I still feel bad for her. The same way you lose, when the Pac-Man. See, I'm dating myself. And when the ghost eats you, you feel bad. You're struggling. You're in this game and you're struggling to try and keep the Pac-Man from eating you. And you get that adrenaline feel and all of that, but it's not really happening. But you feel like it's happening. And I think that's the same way that we are in this Sims game. And it's the biggest part, I believe, is waking up to the fact that you are in a matrix, and that makes it easier to deal with. Yeah. And what comes to my mind too is when Yeshua said, follow me. Follow you where? Out of this matrix. There is a way out. And now we have to figure out the way out of this matrix. When I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. If you figure it out before I do, let me know. But hey, I am a glitch in the matrix. Are you a glitch too? I'm a glitch, you a glitch? Yeah. All right. Let me go, guys. Um, stay in that high love vibration. Don't get caught up in the turmoil. And yeah, Trump's talking about the golden age. Is he talking about the golden age or the gilded age? We shall see. Are we looking at Hunger Games coming up soon, where the well-to-do, the elite, get to pit the different sectors against each other? Anyway, this stuff is deep, but at the same time, not. It's all pre-programmed. It's time for us to play the game. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Stay in that high love vibration.